Imagine a world where oceans were crossed only with sails, where months of travel depended entirely on the mercy of wind and waves. Then, one invention changed everything: the steam engine for ships. Today, we'll explore the fascinating history of the first steamship engine, the brilliant minds behind it, and how this invention transformed the course of human civilization forever. The story doesn't begin in the 19th century. It goes back much further. In the late 1600s, inventors and scientists were already experimenting with ways to harness the power of steam. In 1698, an English inventor named Thomas Savery patented what is considered the first practical steam engine. His invention was called the miner's friend, designed to pump water from flooded mines. It wasn't meant for ships, but Savery's idea sparked imaginations across Europe. If steam could lift water, could it also move wheels and ships? Around the same time, a French physicist, Denis Papin, began thinking along similar lines. In 1707, he designed a small steam-powered boat on the river Fulda in Germany. He fitted it with a piston engine connected to paddles. For a brief moment, the boat moved under steam power. But local boatmen, fearing the loss of their livelihoods, destroyed it. Papin's dream ended there, but his vision lived on. For much of the 18th century, steam engines improved steadily. In 1712, Thomas Newcomen built a more advanced atmospheric steam engine, mostly for mining. Then, in the mid-1700s, James Watt revolutionized steam technology with his efficient design. Watt's engines could provide continuous rotary power, something essential for moving wheels, gears, and eventually, ship paddles. The timing was perfect. Europe was entering the Industrial Revolution, a period of massive change in manufacturing, science, and transportation. Factories needed power, cities needed coal, and empires needed faster ships. The age of steam was about to begin. The honor of building the first practical steam-powered ship belongs to William Symington, a Scottish engineer. In 1788, Symington created an experimental steam-powered paddle boat on Dalswinton Loch in Scotland. It worked, proving that steam could drive a vessel on water. But Symington didn't stop there. By 1803, he launched the Charlotte Dundas, often called the world's first practical steamship. Unlike Papin's fragile experiment, the Charlotte Dundas was a sturdy vessel, powered by a Watt-type steam engine that turned a rear-mounted paddle wheel. To test its strength, the ship towed two 70-ton barges along the Forth and Clyde Canal against fierce headwinds. No sailing vessel could have done this. For the first time in history, a ship had defied the limits of nature. It could move regardless of wind or current. Unfortunately, canal authorities feared the wash from the paddle wheels would damage the banks, and the project was shelved. Symington's invention was ahead of its time, but it planted the seed of revolution. While Symington had built the first practical steamship, it was an American, Robert Fulton, who made the technology famous worldwide. In 1807, Fulton launched his steamboat, the North River Steamboat, later known as the Clermont, on the Hudson River in New York. Powered by a Boulton and Watt steam engine, the vessel traveled from New York City to Albany, a distance of 150 miles, in just 32 hours. This was groundbreaking. Traditional sailing ships often took 4 days or more to complete the journey, depending on wind conditions. Fulton's steamboat could do it on schedule, regardless of the weather. Passengers were amazed. Merchants saw profit. Governments saw power. The age of commercial steam navigation had begun. Fulton proved that steamships weren't just experimental, they were practical, profitable, and unstoppable. Although Symington and Fulton are the most famous names, they weren't alone. In 1787, American inventor John Fitch successfully demonstrated a steam-powered boat on the Delaware River. His vessel carried passengers, but he lacked financial support, and the project collapsed. In France, Claude de Jouffroy also built experimental steamboats in the 1770s and 1780s. His ship Pyroscaphe managed a short trip on the River Saône in 1783. Each of these inventors added knowledge and experience, contributing to the final success of Fulton's design. The steamship was more than just a machine. It was a revolution. For centuries, ships had been at the mercy of wind and weather. Long voyages across oceans could take months. Storms destroyed fleets, and calm seas stranded sailors for weeks. With steam engines, ships could travel on schedule, regardless of wind or tide. This had enormous consequences. Global trade, goods like cotton, sugar, coal, and manufactured products could move quickly between continents. Migration. Millions of people used steamships to travel to the Americas, Australia, and beyond in search of new lives. Naval power. Militaries adopted steam warships, giving them an edge in speed and maneuverability. Industrial expansion. Steamships carried raw materials to factories and delivered finished products to markets worldwide. By the mid-19th century, great steam liners like the SS Great Western and SS Great Eastern were crossing the Atlantic, shrinking the world in ways people had never imagined. So, who truly made the first steamship engine? Denis Papin dreamed it. John Fitch and Claude de Jouffroy experimented with it. William Symington built the first practical working ship, the Charlotte Dundas. And Robert Fulton made steam navigation a commercial success with the Clermont. Together, these pioneers created an invention that transformed the 19th century. The steamship engine symbolized human progress, our ability to master natural forces and use them to connect the world. The first steamship engine was more than just a piece of machinery. It was a symbol of human ambition, the belief that with science, creativity,